Welcome to the Post 4 All Season Sports Show. I'm Drew Rubenstein, joined again by Dave Raese. And Dave, it's Super Bowl week, and thought we'd travel down memory lane a little bit and just kind of remember some of our fondest Super Bowl memories. So you remember the first couple Super Bowls, the Packers games that I've heard a lot from my dad and uncles about. But what kind of stands out as you think back to what it was like then versus what it's become now?
Yeah, unfortunately, I was old enough. I'm old enough that I remember the first ones, but growing up as we were, I think the big thing about the Super Bowl was it wasn't the NFL. It was the NFL and the AFL. So we were all NFL fans, and so the AFL was hated. So we were hoping that Green Bay would, kick butt with Kansas City, and then they beat Oakland, and we were very happy. And then at the time, I was a Colts fan, and I almost went into total depression when they lost to the Jets because the Colts had this machine that year, and everything just came asunder in that game with the Jets. And Joe Namath, who was, flamboyant and, New York and everything you didn't really like about the good old conservative football, they won. So it was a very, very bad Super Bowl for me.
How did fans become fans of the NFL versus AFL? You were an NFL guy.
The AFL was the upstart. We had guys like Sam Huff and Bruce Bosley and Joe Marconi still playing in NFL. The Steelers were in the NFL, and there was bidding wars going on for the players at the time. So, some teams would draft a guy like they might draft Joe Namath, and yet the Jets would sign him and then they'd lose him. So it was pretty heated there for a while until they merged.
And then when they merged, did it still take a while for you to embrace the AFL teams, or
well, they moved. They moved Baltimore to the AFC. I think they moved the Steelers to the AFC. They moved quite a few teams over that way. So, no, it came all right. I think the fourth Super Bowl, I think, is when Kansas City beat Minnesota. I sort of liked it. I always liked Kansas City and Hank Stram, and I sort of was rooting for Kansas City in that one. So, I guess after the Jets demoralized me and the Colts, I was at the bottom. I can only go up.
We all kind of have our favorite Super Bowls. What would be the one for you that sticks out?
Well, then I switched to the Bears, so I guess the Bears winning in '86 with Walter Payton, even though he didn't score a touchdown, and Fridge Perry did. But that was the big one for me. I know Steeler fans like the Steeler victories, and I don't know, that one game they had with Dallas obviously was a great one when Swan made his great catches and Staubach, and that was probably the best Super Bowl I saw.
Do you still remember the Bears rap?
No, I never knew it in the first place.
But no, when you look at, I guess, the Super Bowl as it is as an event, interested in kind of the evolution of this game, because, I mean, Super Bowl I went back and looked, and ticket prices were $12, and obviously $12 meant a lot more in the late 60s than it does nowadays, but still, there wasn't the halftime show, there wasn't the media day circus, there wasn't, all the stuff that has become the Super Bowl. When did it kind of change and morph from a game and to this week-long event that's can't miss TV in American society?
I couldn't tell you the date, but you're absolutely right. It's no longer a football game, and when you have so many people who don't even follow football watch it, then you're in trouble. And the game is just, I haven't watched it frankly in a long time. It's a great time to go out to the movies or someone, because no one's out in town. Or if you want to go to a restaurant, you'll never have a problem getting a seat, and there's just too much hype, and it's just still a football game. It doesn't have to be the best one, but it's still a football game, and they tried to do everything else, and that's where sports is going these days. More quote fan friendly, which is get people here who don't really care about the sport. I'm sort of a purist, and I go to watch the competition and the participants, and not anything else. So. It's a shame, but it's it's just the way things are going, and that's the way it's going to be until they quit selling TV spots for so much money.
Well, maybe it's not just you. I was looking around, and the ticket prices, I think the assumption was initially this was going to be the highest ticket in Super Bowl history because it's in New York City, and the way things have turned out on the secondary sites, tickets are actually going for less than they have the last several years, which is an interesting trend, and still considering how the Super Bowl has become what it is, and I guess just kind of thinking years down the road, what is the Super Bowl going to do? What's the NFL going to do to make sure it doesn't lose this momentum that it's gained over?
They'll either move the game back south to warm weathers, or make sure New York has a dome next time they have a game.
But is some of the events and stuff, is that what maybe wears on you a little bit more? You want to go back to the game? Is that
No,
what
I
it's done
think
it for you?
it's an entertainment thing, and I think the weather in New York, people being afraid of freezing to death is a thing. So that's most people who are casual fans don't like to put up. Not like Green Bay Packer fans who will sit through anything. Not casual fans.
That's a good point. Dave, appreciate your time once again, and please continue to check vdpost.com for the latest on area sports. Thanks for watching again.